Hello and welcome to Real World Leadership, where we're bringing our best selves to life and leadership. I'm your host, Susan Johnson, founder of Truth Enterprise Partners, a talent development and coaching firm based here in Atlanta, where we focus on executive coaching, leadership development, and diversity and inclusion. So our vision is to inspire a world where truth, authenticity, and diversity are valued. And our mission is to bring out the true potential in people. And it's our hope that we'll bring out the true potential in you. So thank you for joining. We're in season 2 as we're continuing our Real World Leadership podcast on lessons in leadership. And this season is really around growth in a real world leadership kind of way. So again, we're continuing our stories around vulnerability, expressions of triumph, and our leaders are sharing their stories, their mistakes, their successes, and what they're learning about themselves and their efforts to grow and develop as a leader. So I encourage you to take notes as we go through this session and see what you can learn about yourself through this. So today at Real World Leadership, we have with us Renee Ducre, who is a Chief Data and Analytics Officer, CDO. Is that right, Renee? Right.
Yes.
Okay, so she's joining us today, and she's going to be sharing a story to you, our listeners. But first, Renee, we want to get to know you a little bit better. So it's customary that I ask an icebreaker question. For you today, I want to know if you were able to host a dinner party with someone that you admire, who would that be and why?
Oh man. I think I would want to, I really admire Barack Obama. And so I would want to meet Barack and just ask him all kinds of questions about his, the behind the scenes and the backstory of all the things that we know about from his administration and kind of leading into it and out of it.
Okay. So Barack Obama is the dinner guest. And why did you choose Barack?
Because I admire his leadership, that
Okay.
one of the toughest jobs, and I'm very big into presentation skills, and he's such a great orator.
Yes, he is. I agree with you there. What would you serve? Just curious. Add on.
Oh, I think he's such a down home kind of person.
Okay.
Probably just something normal: barbecue, collard greens, cornbread, all of that, and some beer. Now that we know that he likes beer,
He likes beer. Okay. All right. So Barack Obama's coming to dinner soon. That's my hope for you. Maybe we'll put that out there in the universe. You
we'll
never.
put it out in the universe.
Okay. Good, good. So Renee, as you know, our session today is really about lessons in leadership. And I know I got a little taste of your story, but I'm curious to hear the situation around the story you want to share with us today. So I'll turn the mic over to you. Tell us about your story or your situation where you had a leadership lesson.
Thank you. And I really appreciate you inviting me to your podcast today so I can share a leadership lesson. So, when I was in my first director role, when I was at IBM,
Mm-hmm.
I was managing a larger team, and everything was on deadlines. We were managing marketing department, managing kind of the sales pipeline and creating leads for sales. And so we're working on a mission critical project that had an end date. One of the critical people that was responsible for many of the pieces of the project had vacation, and it was one that had been planned for a while. And so I said, you know what? I want to set the example as a leader and say, you know what? Go on vacation. We're going to have a backfill, and, you enjoy yourself. And at that time, kind of former leadership used to have, people in the department actually take their laptop on vacation, and they would have to dial in from vacation, which is kind of, ruins it, right? And so, I would say, first as a leader, just setting the tone for your organization, like how you want to handle time out of the office, and
Mm-hmm.
then, supporting your people in that. So, of course, Murphy's Law happened, and something, an aspect of what she was working on kind of blew up a little bit, got some visibility to it, to, senior leadership. And a lot of times, I've always heard that, leaders are made, and you can kind of see what leaders are made of
Hmm.
when things happen and, when they get very visible in front of senior leadership. And so, in that moment, I looked at it and said, you know what, this challenge that we're having, it could
Hmm.
really wait till Monday when this person gets back. And so, they'd been out of the office a few days anyway. I think it was maybe Wednesday. They
Hmm.
were returning on Monday. And so I said, you know what? I will take the brunt of this. It can wait till Monday. And, nothing catastrophic happened, right?
Hmm.
The employee got back on Monday. And the thing that was great, she said, I really appreciate you supporting me. When I investigated, I had the manager that was kind of involved and kind of highlighting the gap that we had. Said, oh, this person meant to do this and did this intentionally. And I said, this just doesn't sound like my employee that I know.
Hmm.
She's very conscientious. I'm gonna take what you're saying as a data point and I'll investigate when she returns. But it just doesn't sound like what I'm hearing. It doesn't sound like the stand-up, very diligent employee that I know. So when I got back, I investigated. It was not the case, what this peer manager was saying about the employee. And I'm glad I didn't overreact because it was nothing, right? And the employee came back and she said, you know what, I really appreciate you supporting me because I was able to enjoy my vacation.
Hmm.
And then from a results perspective, we, took care of the problem and it created long-term retention with that employee and loyalty. And, to the point where the employee would go over and above to get things done
Hmm.
because we kind of built that trust. So, the lessons learned as a leader, having that intestinal fortitude to back up your people, even during times of what seemed like kind of stressful times when something may not be going as planned, but then, investigating and, getting to the bottom of it. If there's something that you need to address that. But in supporting your people, you build that trust and then that long-term, loyalty that will pay over and over again.
Great. I love the story, Renee. Thank you for sharing. A couple things that I noted as you was going through that is that you didn't immediately react with the culture of, call this person out and and call them and disrupt their vacation, which sounds like that was the kind of the rule of the day there, but to be pause and be responsive to the situation, to check your gut, intestinal fortitude, check your gut, right?
Yep. Yep.
Gather some facts, don't rush to judgment, gather some facts, and then address the situation and then making that decision. So very thoughtfully, I could just see kind of that thoughtful process that was taking place there. It's so important as a leader when you're making a decision,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the support of your person. I understand what you're saying. I'm listening, that doesn't match with what I know, but I'm taking that information in and, no rush to judgment. Let me
Yep.
figure out, what happened and we'll resolve it on Monday.
Yeah. And a lot of that comes from, I think, just time as a manager. I
Hmm.
remember in my first manager's job, my manager said, you know what, when you're a leader, managing people, be a sponge and just kind of take in, you'll hear a lot of different things about your team and individuals on your team. And he said, as come to know your people, take those things that you hear as data points and make your own decision. And I've always done that, and it's always really paid off.
Absolutely. It makes total sense, with your role as a chief data officer, that you would be considering the data for sure. Makes total sense.
Absolutely.
You. I appreciate you being on our podcast today and sharing your perspective and your lesson in leadership. So thank you again for being with us at our show. And as we prepare to close, I just want to make a couple of quick reminders that we're Truth Enterprise partners. We help individuals and business owners, leaders discover their true potential with consulting and coaching. We have tools, techniques, and expertise to enable your performance and growth, and help you reach your goals. You can find more about us at truthenterprisepartners.com. as well as at Truth Enterprise Partners on Instagram or Facebook as well. So Renee, any closing comments as we wrap up here?
Oh man, thank you so much, for having me on. And I just wish everyone a good rest of 2024. And always trust your gut. That intestinal fortitude, it has never led me astray. So always trust your gut.
Thank you. Thank you. A pleasure to see you here as well. So thank you for being such a great speaker. And we thank you all for listening and being such a great audience. This has been Real World Leadership with your moderator and leadership guru. I'm Susan Johnson, and we look forward to hearing and seeing you again real soon.